Throughout the Jujutsu Kaisen universe, there exists a character who doesn't use cursed techniques or cursed tools, but solely relies on his bare hands. His name is Yuji Itadori, and he is said to have the potential to surpass the likes of Gojo Satoru, who is the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer in history. In today's video, we'll be going over all of Yuji's forms so far in Jujutsu Kaisen, starting off with his weakest form to his most godlike forms. We get introduced to this version of Yuji in episode 1, and while there's nothing special about this version of Yuji was blessed with exceptional superhuman strength and speed and was often called the Tiger of West Junior High by his classmates because of how super athletic he was. While at this point, Yuji had zero cursed energy and lacked experience. He was still capable of going toe-to-toe with some cursed spirits, going as far as fighting them with his bare hands. Man, this guy should probably start a boxing career. Anyway, in the midst of fighting cursed spirits, Yuji swallows one of the 20 fingers of the King of Curses, Ryomen Sukuna, allowing Sukuna to temporarily take control of Yuji's body. Soon after this, Gojo appears. The two go in all-out battle, with Gojo completely wiping the floor with Sukuna. After their fight, Gojo enrolls Yuji in Kyoto Jujutsu High, leading us to Yuji's next form. After spending some time in Jujutsu High, Yuji is introduced to his classmates Nobara Kugisaki and Megumi Fushiguro. The trio go on missions eliminating cursed spirits together. Through these missions, Yuji's knowledge of cursed energy is exponentially increased, eventually allowing him to create a powerful ability called Divergent Fist. This ability allows Yuji to channel his cursed energy into his fist, with twice the force of a normal punch. Once this ability is activated, a thin layer of cursed energy is released, followed by a second, more powerful wave of cursed energy. This second wave is what gives Divergent Fist its devastating power. The Divergent Fist is surprisingly effective against special grade cursed spirits like Mahito, who are typically taken off guard by the delayed second impact. In Yuji's first encounter with Mahito, Yuji was able to perceive Mahito's soul and was able to use Divergent Fist to attack Mahito's soul directly, succeeding, whereas attacks such as Kento Nanami's ratio technique failed. However, despite how effective this ability is, it has two vital weaknesses. 1. It is very time consuming. 2. It is difficult to control. Because the second wave of cursed energy is released after the first wave, it can be difficult for Yuji to ensure that it hits the target accurately. But Yuji makes good use of these weaknesses and creates yet another powerful technique that puts him several tiers above where he was, which leads us to his next form. At some point, Yuji encounters more Jujutsu High students like Todo Aoi, who is a grade 1 sorcerer and is obsessed with ladies with huge treasure chests. If you know, you know. Anyways, during their encounter, the two battle effortlessly. While fighting, Todo asks Yuji what type of woman he's into, to which Yuji gives him a very interesting response. Turns out they both share something in common, which is they are both men of culture. Anyways, soon after creating a brotherly bond, they encounter a special grade curse named Hanami. The two friends go in all-out battle against the cursed spirit, with Todo activating his cursed technique called Boogie Woogie, which, despite its funny name, is a really powerful technique that allows Todo to instantly swap positions with any two objects or people given they have enough cursed energy. As the duo continue to throw several attacks at Hanami, Todo teaches Yuji a very powerful technique called Black Flash. Unlike Divergent Fist, this technique is a distortion in space which allows a user, in this case Yuji, to apply their cursed energy to a physical strike within 1/millionth of a second. When this happens, the user's cursed energy flashes back, and the destructive power of their strike is increased, making it 2.5 times stronger than a normal hit. Despite how powerful this technique is, it is still a very difficult technique to master, that only a few Jujutsu sorcerers can perform at will. However, Yuji was not only able to learn this technique in a single day, but performed it not once, not twice, but 4 times in a row. A feat that has only been achieved by the Black Flash master himself, Kento Nanami. But Yuji takes things to the next level in his next transformation. The Shibuya incident is a very pivotal event in Jujutsu Kaisen, as so many characters got a significant power boost during this arc, and Yuji was no exception. At some point during this arc, Yuji encounters the special grade curse Mahito for the second time. The two go in an all-out battle, delivering several punches at one another. Soon after, Yuji receives some help from Todo, who uses his curse technique to swap places with Yuji, completely outmatching Mahito. As the fight progresses, Yuji powers up so much that he does something completely insane. He combines his Divergent Fist technique with his Black Flash technique, turning him into the ultimate fighting machine. The battle lasts for so long that Mahito also receives a huge power-up, enabling him to use Black Flash at will. As the fight continues, Yuji decides to deliver the finishing blow by imbuing 100% of his cursed energy into his Black Flash. With the help of Todo, Yuji is able to land this final attack on Mahito, ending the battle immediately. However, this is not the end of Yuji's development, as several chapters into the manga, Yuji powers up so much that he becomes way stronger than all of his forms combined. This leads us to his final and strongest form. Back in the early chapters of the manga, both Yuji and Sukuna made a binding vow. This vow allows Sukuna to take full control of Yuji's body for 1 minute whenever he says the trigger word Enchain. In exchange, Sukuna promises not to kill anyone during that time period. However, Sukuna takes full advantage of this vow and transfers his consciousness into Megumi's body, taking full control of his body. This act annoys Yuji, and the two go into an all-out battle. During this fight, Yuji is greatly weakened. However, he still shows just how far he has mastered his abilities, tanking every attack Sukuna throws at him. Shortly after this, Maki joins the fight. The two sorcerers go all out against Sukuna. Moments later, they are interrupted by Kenjaku, who takes Sukuna away. However, this is not the last time Yuji and Sukuna will be facing one another. Fast forward to chapter 238. Something mind-blowing happens. We see Yuji once again facing off against Sukuna. However, something seems off about him. If we take a good look at his right arm, you would notice that he has claws, which are almost referred to as the claws of calamity. This isn't the first time we have seen these claws in action. If we go back to episode 1 of the anime, we get to see Sukuna make use of these special like claws. See, after Sukuna takes control of Yuji's body, he uses these claws to slice through a cursed spirit that was attacking Yuji, and now we see Yuji with these same claws in chapter 238. This is a very key detail, as it means that Yuji might finally be able to make use of some of Sukuna's abilities, like Dismantle, Cleave and Fire arrows. What is even crazier is that Yuji might also be able to create his very own curse technique and domain expansion. While we haven't seen much of this form of Yuji in action, we do have some amazing speculations of what his curse technique and domain expansion might be, and trust me when I say they will blow your mind. For Yuji's domain expansion, he would be able to create a space similar to a boxing ring where there will be no presence of cursed energy and the two opponents would fight using only physical strength and hand-to-hand combat, which is crazy because Yuji is well versed in hand-to-hand combat, so this domain would be a perfect fit for Yuji. However, his curse technique will be way too broken, so if we go back to episode 12, where Yuji and Mahito meet for the first time, Yuji is able to hit Mahito to the point where he is shown bleeding, which is just insane because this shouldn't be physically possible. See, Mahito's main ability is called Idol Transfiguration. This ability allows Mahito to alter the shape of his body and soul, meaning that physical attacks can't work on him. However, Yuji attacks were able to harm not only his physical body, but his soul as well. This means that Yuji's curse technique might actually be soul manipulation, which would allow Yuji to manipulate other souls at will and even going as far as swapping souls with another body as shown in chapter 222, where it seems like Yuji may have swapped bodies with Kusakabe. While these theories are pretty interesting, we would still have to wait a bit more for newer chapters to confirm them. But one thing is for sure, Yuji will definitely get infinitely times stronger in his final battle against Sukuna, and I can't wait to see this version of him battle against Sukuna. If you can't wait too, then check out the video where we compare Gojo to some of the strongest anime characters in history. Go on, click it!